Hello, this is davID back here again, and I'm bringing you another Mine-imator tutorial. So, in the last episode, I kind of showed you the basics of Mine-imator, how to use the library a little bit. So, today what we're going to do is show you a little bit of the Keyframe Timeline. So if you don't know what keyframe is, it's basically frame by frame. But in Mine-imator, it's kind of used a little bit differently. I will show you how to use that in a later episode. But right now, we're just going to figure out how to position our character for the animation. So if I add a character here, Steve right now, I've showed you before how to change the skin. So just go ahead and do that. 1 second, and here it is. There is my skin. So you already knew how to do that. So this is the timeline, as you can see. So basically you can kind of delve deeper into the library here. So let's say we want to put our character in a different position. So we just click on that, and right now we are selected on his whole body. So let's see here. Let me show you a little bit. So we can change his position. You can either do it on the graph, or you can do it from here, which I usually choose to do because it's just a little bit easier. But if you want it to be completely precise, you would probably do it from right here, because this is more precise, as I just said, and it's a little bit easier. We can invisible here, make them invisible, make them visible, all that good stuff. He's blinking. And lock to parent, I'll show you that later this episode. We can change his rotation. We can do this for a little bit more precise, which I do. So we can also change his scale, which I did in the little thing you saw, the davID versus Black Bolt with Herobrine. So you can change the scale. You want to make him giant, you want to make him so tiny that no one else can see him. Can just change it to back to 1 times or 4 times or 3 times or whatever you want. Let's change them back to 1 times for now, because we don't really need that. You can turn off simple scaling, so change the Y scale, which is like this. It's actually really weird and creepy looking. It looks like an alien. Let's change that back. You can change the Z scale. Just makes them taller. Hey, how you doing up there? Let's change him back. Okay. Or you can change the X scale, which I believe just makes him really fat. Yep, he's incredibly fat now. Let's change that back. So you can have your fun with these. Decide to do that. I will go into, like I said before, I'll go into animation in a later episode. You can change the alpha, which is basically the opacity. So change it like that. Like I said, basically the opacity. Okay, overlay, that's just the alpha of the color. So I can make them look like really black or a little bit less black, or I can change the color to, let's say, purple, and make them more purple or a little bit less purple, like that. Oh, he looks sick. Actually, no. If we change it to green, now he looks really sick, like poisoned. And transition, I never really did that very much, but that is actually with the animation. So I will show you that later, just because it gets really confusing. This actually, like I said, with the animation, I will show you how this works, transition works once we get into a little bit of animation. So let's click on his hat. I do not have a hat, I don't believe. No, I do not have a hat on my character, so this will not do anything for me. So let's click on his right arm. We can move it, which just looks weird. Actually, let's go into the graph. So if you've done anything with 3D modeling, you know there's an X scale. Wait. Okay. There's an X scale. I'll just call that the X scale. That's really the Z scale. Um, there's a Z scale. Okay, there's the Z on the graph, the X on the graph, and the Y on the graph. And you can see what it is by just right clicking it. And so Z, so X, Y, and Z. So if you've ever done any 3D modeling, you would know that. But I'm guessing that many of you have not done any 3D modeling before. Um, so I'm going to go into this a little bit. So basically, you should know math. So X and Y should be pretty easy for you to learn. However, the Z will be a little bit harder to learn. Since this is a three-dimensional animator, because Minecraft is a three-dimensional game, naturally there are three dimensions. This is the first dimension, the second dimension, and the third dimension. This is how it changes, like this. Perfect. Let's do that. Great. So this looks nice right now. So what also we can do is rotate his arm. So just like I show you, I showed, I yeah showed you rotating his body. You can also rotate his arm, X, Y, and Z Ys, which, as I showed you before, is just the same thing, just like that. It's pretty cool. Um, can change it so that you don't see the excesses. I like to see them just cause makes it a little bit easier for animating. And we can also do bending. So say you wanted him to like reach for a sword, I don't know. Uh, we can bend his arm like this. Yeah. Okay. So scale, I already went over that. Let's turn it back to simple scaling. Um, Alpha, already went over that. Overlay, already went over that. Transition, I will show you later. And it's basically the same thing for everything else. So that is the position of the character. I just want to warn you, this will be a little bit longer episode since you're going to be learning a little bit more. So if we go here and add an item, let's add a diamond sword. So we have a diamond sword here. So let's say we want to make the character hold it. So what we would have to do here is go to instances, the instance bar right here, and go to item 1. So what we can do from here is press lock to parent, which will make it so that you can choose character 1 and lock it to his right arm. That looks weird. The reason for that is because it does not have the alignment so that it lines perfectly. So what we have to do is go back on the keyframe timeline and change its position a little bit, and rotation. This is good practice for whenever you're actually doing animating, so this will be good to do. Let's change this a little bit. This is the wrong axis, so let's go to Y. And change that there. That looks good. Not yet, but move it to his arm. So I think, yes, this is his right arm. So if we went to this keyframe timeline and moved his right arm, we can, the sword will move with it, as you can see, which is very nice. So we're nearing the end of our episode here, and think that is all I really want to teach you right now. Actually, there's one more thing I want to teach you. So let's me add another item. Let's add a helmet. Let's move it around a little bit. Um, let's move it around so that is away from my character a little bit. So this is just a 2D item, something that your character can hold. So that does not work. I think that, however, if we go to blocks, maybe, I'm not completely sure, but no, it's actually not here. Um, I think that I do know how to do this, but this gets a little bit complicated, so I will show you that later. In any case, so I want to show you a few things you can do with this. So if we go here and we have the 3D item, it's not really a 3D item, but if we unclick this, it has the effect so that it's kind of like whenever it's on the ground. So if you press Q in Minecraft, this is what it looks like, and can face camera if we can turn that off, so it does not face the camera and move with us. And we can change the bouncing so that it just is stationary, but let's keep it on bounce because that looks cooler. So let's turn it back to 3D. I think that's about everything I really wanted to show you this episode. You kind of saw this in the last episode. Uh, night to day, all that good stuff. Can change the sky color to black sky like this, or purplish black. It looks black. Uh, okay. Whatever. Let's. I think this. I guess this is purplish, blackish. I guess. I'm not sure, but you can change it to custom lighting, which basically, or that's not it. Oh, custom lighting right here. Just like that. You can just change wherever the lights are in the sky. I do not like to do that because that gets real complicated really fast. You can do use lighting. This makes it so that there are shadows. You can turn that off so that everything is lighted the same way. But it looks better when you do use lighting so that there are shadows and shadowing effects. So you do not have to do that yourself. Okay, that's about all I really wanted to show you in this episode, but in the next episode we'll be going over a little bit more about animation. No, not really animation, but maybe importing things. Or using the camera. No, I'll figure that out later. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and sub if you think this was helpful, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.